G'day and welcome to the Ball Boys Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch Casey, and today we are doing the final mock draft of the preseason. It is a 12-team, 9-category head-to-head league. Let's go!
Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Bryant to Shaq.
Not a game. We talking about practice.
LeBron James with no regard for human life. Anything's possible.
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
Curry for three. Wow! Unbelievable. Making it rain in New York.
We the North are now we the champions.
Not the destination, it's the journey. Mamba out.
G'day and again, welcome to the Ball Boys Fantasy Basketball Podcast. My name is Mitch Casey and you can find me on Twitter at BallBoysNBA and on Instagram at BallBoys Fantasy Basketball Podcast. We've got another solo podcast coming towards you guys today. Just myself here today. Callum's a very social man. He's very busy, so he's out and about again this weekend. And I'm just sitting at home and thought, what more would you want to do on your Sunday morning here in Australia than go through some fantasy drafts? Get yourselves ready for the season. The Ball Boys Home League is actually going to be drafting next week. So this is my final chance to get some practice in for some head-to-head category leagues. It'll be the final mock draft that we dropped on our podcast and YouTube channel. So we're going back to the old school, the first mock draft that we did on the channel, back to the very popular 12-team, 9-category head-to-head. And in this draft, I am selecting from pick number 5. So I don't think I've selected a pick 5 yet before. We'll be kicking off here in another minute and a half. Just before we do here, guys, just want to give you guys a reminder to, if you haven't already, if you watch along on YouTube, head over to the Apple Podcasts portion of the show. Make sure you hit subscribe, or on Spotify, wherever you listen to it, hit subscribe to the podcast version. It really helps us get more viewership, more attention on the show, so we can continue doing more cool shows in the future. And also, the second part of the intro today, guys, is we're actually going to be doing a Q&A podcast later in the week. So if you have some questions, you've got an upcoming draft coming up, or you've just drafted, you want to maybe make some moves before your season starts, let us know with your questions in the comment section down below. Or if you're listening on the podcast, go over to YouTube channel version, hit your questions down below in the YouTube comments of this video, and we'll try and get to as many as we can on the next podcast. I'll also probably send out a tweet as well for anyone to drop their questions. We'll pick out all the best ones and the most relevant ones, and we'll go through them on the next podcast. I'll remind you guys a little bit later on the podcast, but we're coming down to the last little bit here. Let everyone know. Good luck. So, here we go. Yes, 9 categories, head-to-head league. My bread and butter, this is what we do most of our content on the podcast and on the YouTube channel here. So we shall see how we go. Oh, chuck a like on the video, guys. I want to see if we can get, for the last podcast, for the last mock draft, let's get 150 likes on this video. A big ask, but let's see if we can do it. So make sure you hit a thumbs up there, and we're off here. Nikola Jokic, number 1. Steph, number 2. There's a bit of debate going on between Steph and James Harden, number 2. With the Kyrie Irving news, and I keep flip-flopping myself. A lot of people ask me, sometimes I'll say, my answer's been Steph, but there is a really, really good argument for James Harden to go at number 2 as well in most leagues, just because of those assists, which are so valuable and so hard to find in drafts. So I could be very swayed to go Steph or James Harden at 2. At the moment, I'm leaning just James Harden. But you could sway me either way, and if you like Steph better, then yeah, go for it. Pick Steph over James Harden. James Harden 3rd, top 3, all pretty good. I would be going Giannis 4 here. Karl Anthony Towns taken from me. I was hoping to get him because I haven't done a Karl Anthony Towns mock draft yet. I have already done a Giannis build, so maybe I'll just try something different here. I did a Lillard one, so I'm trying to give you some more content here, guys. I'm going to be going Kevin Durant. And just see how we go, because I think he's a difficult one to build around. Normally, I would be taking Giannis here. Like, let's just make that very clear. Giannis, I think, is the right player to pick here. But just to mix things up, I'm gonna go with Kevin Durant at this spot. and see what I can do here in this build. But like I said, normally I would go Giannis there. I really want a Cat. I think Cat's getting in for a big year, and I wanted to get him there, guys. So we'll see how we go with the Kevin Durant build, because I think Giannis in most times is going at pick 4. So you could be picked with either a Lillard, Durant, and Karl Anthony Towns selection. I would go Towns over Durant, but then I would probably Durant and Lillard, a sort of flip of a coin there. Let's see how we go. Tan's already all over me. He knows what I'm doing. Jeez. He's switched on. All right, so what have we got here again? We have got Damian Lillard at 7, Luka at 8. I think that's a great spot for Luka. I know Callum picked him 4th in our Roto draft. I don't know if I agree with that, but he's a fun player, and obviously if those percentages do increase and do improve, he can skyrocket up the rankings and easily become a top 5 player. So don't hate it too much, and especially in a head-to-head league when you can punt the turnovers, you can punt the free throw percentage. Absolutely no problem having Luka here, and he would be around pick 7 or 8 for me in most drafts. I think in our next podcast as well, we are going to be revealing the draft order for our home league. And what we normally do in our draft order is we reveal the picks that we going to take, which picks we are going to take at that point. So say I get the number one selection. It doesn't mean that I get the number 1 pick. I get the first option of choosing where I want to draft. And so a lot of leagues do this. So I just wanted to, if you guys have the choice, I reckon that pick 3 or pick 4, depending on how you feel about Giannis and punting free throw percentage, I think that's the best spot to go, because I think there's a clear top 4 in Jokic, Steph, Harden, and Giannis. If you're not a big fan of punting free throw percentage, then I would go, number 3, because then, you just get whoever falls to you from Steph and Harden. And I think that's an awesome start in that point. I also think that pick 11 is the worst spot, because at pick 11, you're going to get the 14th player on the way back. And I think I've spoken about this before. I think there is a clear top 13, with Bradley Beal being my 13th, Paul George, Davis, Embiid, all those, Tatum, all those guys kind of sort of towards the back end. And then the other breaking point, I think, is around that 8th spot where you get Durant, Luka, and then there's a bit of a drop-off to your Tatums and Embiids, Davises, and things like that. So I think those are sort of your tipping points there. All right, let's go through. Bradley Beal going at 17th. That's an interesting one. And Domantas Sabonis, Bam Adebayo going 13th, 14th. Too high. Vucevic at 12. Too high for me, guys. I think we're getting a bit carried away with their value here. Because, look, they were good last year. I can see them all regressing a little bit this year. Bam's going to lose some assists with Lowry joining the mix. Sabonis has got a new coach. I think they're going to slow things down a little bit here. And Vucevic, obviously, you've got the inclusions of Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan, so less scoring opportunity. Plus, we already saw him reduce in his value when he got traded to Chicago last year from Orlando. So I think if that's your first player or second player that high in the second round, I think you can do a lot better. So I'm not as keen on going those guys that early. All right, so I'm going to be selecting with Kevin Durant. I'm going to pair him with Jimmy Butler here. I think on a per game basis, Jimmy Butler is going to comfortably beat this number. He was inside the top 7 or 8 last year per game. You worry a little bit about injuries and sort of his age getting up there a little bit, but elite steals, free throw percentage is massive, field goal percentage is still fine, points, assists, rebounds, all very good. And with a Durant combination, I kind of like that, starting with 2 forwards early on. It might put me into a bit of a punt 3-pointer situation, but I'm fine with that. I don't think Durant's big boost from threes is that massive, so maybe I'll pair him with a center on the way back, depending on who falls to me. Let's recap a few of these last picks. Let's go back into the presenter mode here. What do we have? Yeah, so like I said, those 3 guys, Vucevic, Bam, Sabonis, all way too high. All above Joel Embiid as well, which I can't get around. I would much rather have, Van Vliet, Trae Young, Bradley Beal, all higher, in my opinion there. And Jimmy I would have higher as well. But other than that, we are going okay. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 23. It's okay. It's a little higher than I'd want. I'm just worried a little bit about them being super cautious. I'm not as worried that they're going to shut him down like last year. I am also thinking that the assists might drop with Giddey in the mix. Giddey's looked pretty good so far. And then LaMelo Ball at 24. So we're off and running pretty good here. I like the Donovan Mitchell pick at 25. I think Donovan Mitchell is I think he's a second-round player, and especially if you're going to punt field goal percentage, he shoots up into like top 15 kind of level. So for anyone with a James Harden or even, you could go as early as like a Jason Tatum, depending if Van Vliet or Trae Young are on the board. You obviously go those guys ahead of him, but if you didn't want one of those centers, you could go Donovan Mitchell after those guys. I would have Donovan Mitchell over a Zach LaVine in most cases, unless I'm trying to look after my field goal percentage, maybe with a Steph Curry build, who's a bit better at that. DeAndre Ayton going at 27 and Michael Porter Jr. going at 26. I like the fact that Michael Porter Jr. seems to be going down in drafts. I think that's more where I'm comfortable drafting him at this point. And I've got to think about what I'm going to be doing here. I'm talking too much. Who have we got? Okay, there's not many bigs on the board, which is concerning. Devin Booker goes. Okay, what am I trying to do here? I've left myself in a bit of a hole. Do I go the Darren Fox? That could be get my points and assists with the Butler and Durant pairing. Is it enough to float my free throw percentage and keep that up nice and high? Potentially. Who else do I like here? I don't love anyone. This is a tough spot in the draft here. I think I might go Darren Fox here and just pray. At 29, it's early, but I don't mind it. You guys know I'm a big Darren Fox fan. I am a big Darren Fox fan. Huge points. He scored over 28 points a game in the last couple of months of the season last year. Massive assists, good steals. He's looked great in the preseason so far. And I'm going with a bit of a punt threes build, I think, at this spot here. Jimmy Butler, he's got a massive boost to free throw percentage. Durant's a good free throw percentage. So I'm going to try and look after that category, or although it might turn into a bit of a punt later. We'll see how we go. We'll see how it tracks. But right now I'm punting threes and turnovers, and we'll see how we go with that build. After Darren Fox, we had LeBron James, Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown I did consider as well. The COVID news is not ideal, but I think he'll be fine for the start of the season. I think that, yeah, look, I wouldn't bump him down on your draft boards really too much at all. I'm pretty high on him. I think he could be a top 30 player this year. So at 31, that's fine. LeBron at 30 it fell down a little bit there. Excellent job for the Giannis team there, pairing Giannis, Gobert, and LeBron James. I am interested to see. It looks like where is he still on the board? Yeah, it looks like Zion Williams is falling a bit here with the news of his foot, and I'm for it. I don't think you can take Zion in the second round anymore. In the third round, if you've got that strong punt build, I think you can do it. He might even make it all the way back to the fourth round, because I don't know if all these teams here are, or maybe the Luka team, but he took Ingram. Of course, yeah, when you get Bradley Beal 40 lap in with the Luka team, you might be able to salvage that free throw percentage. And another strong free throw percentage shooter, Ingram. I actually think that's a really good selection. So a good start for true buckets there. I like this team. Very strong draft so far, I think, at the moment. A couple of those questionable big man picks at the start, but outside of that, I think this is looking really, really strong. Okay, looks like, all right, we might have a very strong punt threes free throw percentage team coming up here with the Davis and Sabonis team. Looks like they're going three bigs early. This is getting very interesting. We're seeing a lot of the big guys go. The big man run is real in drafts this year, guys. And I have no big men on my team to start off with, so I might need to think about that on my next pick. John Collins going at pick 38. Pick 37. I think that's a bit early for John Collins. I think there's some better players available. I'd much rather someone like a Kristaps Porzingis, Jaren Jackson Jr., maybe even a Rashawn Holmes, although Holmes and Collins probably pretty similar. I like the look of, let me just start setting my cue here. In a punt threes build, I do like the look of Rashawn Holmes. Is someone I want to look after. Nurkic is someone I'm looking at. I want to get in a big guy with this next pick because I think they're going to start going. With the news of the Boston Celtics starting Al Horford, OG Anunoby, excellent pick at 39. I'm big on OG. I think he's going to have a monster season. He's looked great in preseason. DeMar DeRozan is someone I want to maybe consider, but not this early. I'm hoping one of these three guys falls to me. Let's have a look. We'll see how we go. Back to the board here. Okay, so Casey's cool team finally selected a non-big guy, and it's a Drew Holiday selection. There goes Zion. Zion Williamson's falling to pick 40. Wow. And going to a team with Paul George, Chris Paul, and Trae Young. So I don't know if they're... Oh, fuck. Rashawn Holmes. I did want me some Rashawn Holmes. Might have to reach a little bit here. Who are the other guys in my queue? Nurkic and Williams. Rashawn was my guy there. Christian Wood. I've got no interest in Christian Wood inside the top 50, really. I'm a bit lower on Christian Wood than most people. So at this point, we got to get that center run. It's happening. It's probably happening earlier in this draft than it might happen in your draft, but you got to be switched on to it. Do I go Nurkic or do I go Robert Williams? The Robert Williams pick. Am I going to be competitive in blocks? I'm going to try the ADP game. I don't know if it's going to work in a draft as savvy as this, but I think I'm going to go the Nurkic pick first and hope that Robert Williams makes it back to me, although I don't love my chances. I've drafted Nurkic a few times in these mocks, so you guys probably are aware that I'm pretty happy. 44 is about... It's starting to push the limit. I don't know if I'd go inside the top 40, but I think he's going to have a big season. I'd happily take him over Wood. I'd probably happily take him over Collins in terms of bigs. Yeah, that's probably about where I'd have him. I'd have him and even like someone like a DeAndre Ayton. Oh, actually, no, I'd have Ayton ahead of him. But yeah, he's sort of that guy. Yeah, I'd take him over Wood and John Collins in this draft here. So Jaren Jackson Jr. goes 47. Excellent pick. I like that. I think he's going to have another bounce back year. Not as worried about the health. He's looking healthy. He's playing preseason games. Always a good sign. And here goes Kyrie Irving at pick 48. So with the team with LaMelo, Donovan Mitchell, and Nikola Jokic. Look, I don't hate it because you're on the turn and he's going to be technically your fourth player, but really he's like your fifth player. So you've got four solid players before you take Kyrie Irving. That's as early as I would go. Now, you are seeing some few things with Kyrie and like he's allowed to practice with the team now. So maybe that builds a bit of momentum into... Fuck! There goes my Robert Williams pick. I told you he wasn't coming back to me. I think it's a great pick. I actually think Robert Williams could smash this value. If he gets 28 minutes a night, he's top, dare I say, top 20. He could be absolutely massive this season. And if I had my time over, maybe I would have taken him instead of Nurkic. Nurkic is the safer pick. Robert Williams definitely got the upside. He could make or break drafts this year. And I think the closer we get to season, I think that ADP is going to start rising. And here comes the centers again. We've got Isaiah Stewart going 50th. He wasn't going 50th even a few weeks ago. Far out. These centers... Oh, sorry, that's the wrong draft. These centers, they're getting out of control here. They are getting out of control. Okay. Gonna have to go something. I've got... Draymond Green was someone I was just about to consider too. It's a good draft here, guys. I'm telling you, it's a good draft. People are switched on. I think I've got to go and just get my blocks in now. Jonas Valanciunas, Jarrett Allen. I'm not in love with him. I'm not a big fan of Valanciunas this year. I don't love this pick. But I'm going to get good blocks. The free throw percentage stays pretty solid. I would have loved Draymond Green there. And there goes Ben Simmons. Okay. Again, with this Giannis team, obviously it's pretty stock standard. He's got all the good pieces here. Ben Simmons, I took him in that 20-teamer recently. Copped a bit of flack from Josh Lloyd for it, but I mean, we all don't know. We don't know what's happening with him. It's uncharted territory. I still am of the mindset that he's not going to sit out the whole year. I tweeted out before, I think it's going to be measured in weeks and not months in terms of how long he's missed, but it may approach a couple of months. It might be Christmas, it might be next year, but we don't know. There could be a deal that happens tomorrow for all we know. And, if you're getting Ben Simmons at pick 54 in a punt free throw build, that's an awesome pick. I think if you're drafting, especially if you're the punt free throws, you could probably wait another round, though, at this point, because there's a lot of uncertainty there. So I think you could wait a little bit more for that pick there. All right, I'm going to start to highlight. I want DeMar. Now, you guys know I'm not a big DeMar fan, but I need some free throw percentage boost. I need that boosted, so I'm hoping he comes back around to me. When am I selecting next? Pick 68. Don't like my chances. Don't like my chances at all, really, but we'll see. It could turn into a soft free throw percentage punt with the threes. So, how am I looking? I've got Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, Darren Fox, Nurkic, and Miles Turner. So, looking okay. My assists are pretty solid, even though I've only got one point guard on my team. I probably do want to start to look at that because they're going to start to get less and less easy to find. My blocks are looking pretty solid with Nurkic, Turner, and Kevin Durant giving me all solid blocks. The points are okay. My last two picks, I've suffered a little bit on the points. We'll see how we go. So I might need to get I'm looking for a good points and assists guy coming into here, and free throw percentage would be good as well. So those are the three categories I'm hoping to target with this next pick. I think a DeMar DeRozan would be really good here. Don't care about his lack of threes. And at pick 68, I think that's about his value. I think that's about right for him. I'm not big on him. I don't know if he's going to be a top 50 player this year. But I still think at this point it's going to be pretty solid. Those Chicago Bulls look really good here. I'll just highlight a few of the last pick we've had. These guys must listen to my podcast because this is all going where I think they should be going. Mikal Bridges at 57 might be a little high there in a head-to-head format. In a roto, it's an awesome pick, but I think just the low turnovers and fairly boring. He's not elite in any one stat, so it doesn't serve a head-to-head league quite as well. Malcolm Brogdon going that point, I think, yeah, it's okay. I think it's fine. And Russell Westbrook at 62, perfect. I think that's a great spot for him. All these are really good picks, actually. And Ja Morant even going a bit later at 64. Yeah, look, I think it's fine. It's maybe just a tiny bit earlier than I would take him, but look, it's much better than when he normally goes, so I really don't have much of an issue. These are good drafters. Everyone's on their game today. We'll see how we go. Gordon Hayward at 66. Yep, I like that pick. The risk is mitigated at this point. Come on, DeMar. Yes. Kevin Porter Jr. at 67. I don't mind it. A little bit earlier than I would want because of some of the percentage issues, turnovers, and low. I don't know if the steals and blocks are going to be there, rebounds. So he's a bit of that Ja Morant build, and he's not Ja Morant. So I'm not. It's probably around early for me for the Kevin Porter Jr. pick. But let's go with DeMar DeRozan. You guys, like I said, I'm not a big fan of DeMar DeRozan, but on this team here, at 68, I think it's fine. My team's looking really good. It's a big boost to my free throw percentage. With Nurkic there and Darren Fox, two subpar free throw percentage shooters, I wanted to get that back up. So I've got Jimmy, Durant, and DeRozan, who are all big contributors in that category. It's going to boost me back up. And hopefully I can stay competitive in that category. So at the moment, I'm really just punting threes and turnovers, which is a bit of a weird punt. I don't necessarily recommend it, but we'll see how it turns out today. Actually, I'm not minding it so far. And sometimes some of those weird builds work out really well because, against the big guys where I'm gonna suffer a little bit, like those Giannis teams. I'm gonna be beating him in free throw percentage. I'm gonna be I might even beat him in threes with a few of my players. Even though I'm punting threes, I'll probably be able to beat this team in threes. My points are still solid. I probably need to concentrate on some steals next. So more assists, points, and steals. I think I need to continue to keep that going. And we've already exhausted all the bigs pretty much here. Valanciunas might have been the last center that is worthwhile at this point. So I'm glad I got my big guys earlier. We do have a couple here that I'll keep in my queue. I do like some PJ Washington action. Evan Mobley is someone that maybe I can consider. I could probably wait a little bit on Evan Mobley. I'll be selecting at 92. Maybe I can get him there. All right. Who have we got coming up? Let's have a look here. This is that weird point in the draft. Karis Levert at 73. Not sure what's happening with him and his injury. Some people are saying he's going to be back and it's going to be fine. Who am I going here? Kemba Walker? Maybe I just lock in like a PJ Washington at this point. At 77, it's not too bad. He'll give me some steals from the center position. Interesting. Suggsy? Is it? No, it's probably too early for Suggs. Oh, it's a real shit point in the draft. Do I just lock in that other center? Do I just lock in a Jarrett Allen? I think he's the last center I'm really confident in. This freaking center run, I tell you. And then I just concentrate on guards to finish up. I think that might be the play. Here. Yeah, Marcus Smart goes there. So Jarrett Allen. Just really strengthen my field goals, blocks, rebounds. He's not a terrible free throw shooter. He's not going to crush me in that position there. Do I want him over PJ Washington? Probably in this punt threes build. He probably gets a slight boost in value over him. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go. Going to go the Jarrett Allen pick. And just now I've got Turner, Nurkic, and Allen as my centers locked away. Still only got 1 point guard, which does concern me. Definitely does concern me. We'll see how we go. Let's have a look at these. Let's see what Yahoo thinks of these standings here. So field goal percentage, I'm right near the top. Free throw percentage, I am down the bottom, but I've taken a few centers, and I'm still in the mix here, and it's competitive. Threes, I'm dead last. We know that. Points, I'm low. Rebounds, I'm up. Assists, low. Steals are okay. Blocks, I'm at the top of the league. And I'm actually pretty good in turnovers as well, which is something that I haven't, like you said, you heard me say that I'm punting turnovers, yet I'm still pretty good in them. Oh, maybe I should have gone someone else and see if I can get Mobley on the way back. Fuck. Might have been a mistake there. I don't know. I just didn't really love my guard options. I reckon I can get Suggs on my next pick, and I'm pretty happy with getting Suggsy there. So a bit of ADP game. Let's have a look at these last few picks here. All really good. I mean, I think this has actually been a very competitive draft, really. I can't really fault any picks. I'm really nitpicking when I am. Mitchell Robinson, there's a pick I can nitpick. 82, I just don't love it. I'm not a big Mitchell Robinson fan. The injuries there. Look, I don't know. It's not horrible, but far out. I just don't like Mitchell Robinson. I think Nerlens Noel's a better player, to be honest. Plus Tibbs is going to play Taj Gibson some minutes, it looks like. Fuck, there goes Jalen Suggs. God damn it. Casey's cool team. Take my last name and take my player. Okay. Far out. He looks like he's doing it. Yeah, he's doing that threes punt as well. Similar build to me. So, of course, he's sniping my players. Miles Bridges, I've got to rethink this. 4 picks until me. Evan Mobley's going to come back around. Am I just going to lock in all the bigs in the world? Jonathan Isaac? I need points and assists, and it's going to be really hard to get that very soon. Who do we think's Yahoo? Who's giving me the most amount of assists at this point? Fuck, there's no one, is there? How do I become competitive in assists? Or do I just give it away? Do I just have to give it away at this point? Fuck, it's a good draft so far, I tell you what. I should be able to still... With Durant, Butler, Fox, there's 6+ assists for each player. Maybe Durant's more 5. Yeah, shit. I really don't know who to go here, guys. It's been a good draft so far. Very good draft. I actually think Evan Mobley can give me some assists from the center position. I think in terms of value, he's the guy that's screaming out to me because he is starting, guys. I think he is going to be starting day one. I was worried with the Larry Markkinen pick, but or do I go with Spencer Dinwiddie? Oh, but he'll tank my percentages. I'm not even sure Devontae Graham starts, so I'm not going him. Fuck me, there's nothing left. Jesus Christ. Try to get a Reggie later. Jonathan Isaac. Fuck. This is rough. This is rough, guys. All right, no, let's go the value pick. I just think, and I'm fucking huge now. My team is massive now. Evan Mobley. I like Evan. I think he's a brilliant talent, and he's starting over Larry Markkinen. It seems like all indications that it's going to be him and Jarrett Allen starting together. Mobley's going to give me blocks. He's going to give me a decent assist from the big man position. I think he's going to get better as the season goes on. It's probably about where I'd want to draft him. Pick 90. Where did I get him? 92. Yeah, I'm pretty fine with that. But these guards really dried up really quickly without me paying much attention. We had a big run in the 6th and 7th round here. Look at all these guards. Terry Rozier, Westbrook, Brogdon, Durant, Morant, Russell, Kyle Lowry, Cade, Sexton, Walker, Marcus Smart, Mike Conley. And the last guy who I was hoping was going to fall me, Jalen Suggs, went. Devontae Graham, I don't know if he starts. Like, they've been mixing and matching with the rookie and Nickeil Alexander-Walker at this point. There goes Jonathan Isaac. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's probably about where I want to draft him. Yeah. Let's have a look at my lineup here. Look at these lack of guards. I'm going to have to address it now because my starting roster is now set. So I need these guards. I do need these guards. RJ Barrett is someone I'm looking at. Carl Anderson looks like he's coming off the bench. Reggie Jackson for some boring picks. Jeez, we're going to have to start reaching here. DeAnthony Melton. Oh, Josh Giddey goes. Fuck off. As if Josh Giddey goes at 99. He would have been someone great for my team. Fuck. And I don't hate it. I actually really like it. But geez, this draft is switched on. Well done, guys. You're making it tough on me. You're making it very tough on me. Fuck, is it too early to go to Anthony Melton? No, look, I'll probably have to go RJ Barrett. Nerlens? No, I need my guards in there. No steals and blocks. I don't love it. I really don't like it, guys. Jeez, you're making me sweat here. I wasn't ready for this draft here today, guys, but you put it on a good show. I like that Josh Giddey at 99 pick. I think and there goes Reggie Jackson. I think he's going to be pretty bloody good. I had him. I can't remember if I had him. I think I had him 6th in my rookie rankings. If you want some old school rankings from a few months ago, check out our dynasty rookie rankings and our draft boards, because you'll know that I was pretty high on Giddey, and I tweeted out my big board on all the rookies. Not so much from a fantasy point of view, but from a real life point of view. And I think Giddey's going to be really good, and he's going to give you some assists and good rebounds. Percentages are going to suck, but I think he's going to be a better shooter than people give him credit for. There goes Nerlens Noel, Kyle Anderson at 106, Harrison Barnes. All these draft picks are fine here, guys. Nerlens Noel, 107. Still a little murky whether or not he starts. What's going on there? I'm keeping an eye on that one in the preseason closely. Also, just a reminder, guys, we've got a Q&A. If you missed the start of the session, we've got a Q&A podcast coming up. So if you want to get your questions answered, leave it down in the comments on the YouTube version of this podcast, and we will get to as many as we can. I think my assists are just rooted at this point. Let's have a look what Yahoo reckons. My points are rooted too. I won't lie to you guys. This has been a pretty shit draft for me. It's been a good league. I think I'm still competitive. It's a funky build. And had a few things, had a few of the guards fell to me. I might have done better, but a few picks that I'm not loving. It's also on these punt threes kind of builds, where there's a lot of threes late. A lot of guys you can just pick up and get some good threes late. Normally I'd like a Jaden McDaniels here, but I'm pretty set in those forward positions. I just need one more guard to... Do I just go full hype? I'll tell you what, he looks good in this year. It's right around this pick. I'd be very happy to draft him now. But a lot of threes value, and I don't care about threes. So for me, his value is a bit further back. I think D'Anthony Melton's coming into my range here. I think he's the guy I'm hoping comes to me. There goes Jordan Poole. Yeah, let's touch on Jordan Poole because he is lighting the preseason on fire, and I am all about it. We had him in our deep sleepers. I don't think he's necessarily a deep sleeper now. He is just someone who you need to grab inside the top 100. You'd want to try get him around 120, but 114 here is fine. I'm absolutely all about it. I think it's a fine pick at this point. All right, here goes the hype pick. D'Anthony Melton, come to me, baby. Hopefully he can get his 26 to 28 minutes a night. He might be starting, he might not, but the fact that Kyle Anderson has moved to the bench means that we're getting a shift over of Dylan Brooks to the 3, which means there's way more minutes for Desmond Bain, D'Anthony Melton. Melton can also play a bit of backup point guard as well, so it just makes things so much easier, and his path to minutes. Look, we're getting hype guys all in a row. Look at this. Jordan Poole, Steven Adams is a preseason hype guy, D'Anthony Melton, Tyler Hero's been going off, Jaden McDaniels is one of my hype guys. I'm cooling a little bit on Jaden McDaniels. He's not been putting up the stats in the preseason. He's getting the minutes, and I love the way he looks, but he's very passive, especially in that Timberwolves lineup. So I don't know. I came out of the gates pretty strong on Jaden. I don't really know where I sit. I think it's a fine selection. I like it here, but compared to some of the other guys who I'm high on, Melton, Poole, Hero, all those guys have ascended. Jaden McDaniels has just taken half a step back, but I still like him. I do still like him. Jae'Sean Tate going at 120. Will he start at the 3? I'm not sure. They're moving players around at that point. I think Tate will eventually get it, but it could be someone like Eric Gordon. It could be... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know at this point. All right, what else are we going? Let's have a look at some of these later round guys. We can start... Desmond Bain would be a good one. But I don't care about 3s. Chuma Okeke? He could be someone. Fuck me, there's not a lot here. Killian Hayes. Do I reach and get a Killian Hayes here? What's Yahoo say about him? It's questionable. Assist steals. Something I do need. I'm trying to claw back these assists, but don't know how successful I'm going to be with this team. Tyrese Maxey is someone I'm definitely interested in this spot. Actually, he might be my guy here. Hopefully, if he comes to me. They did start Shake Milton in the last preseason game, but regardless, he's going to get lots of minutes. I put Scotty Barnes on the list for later. He's going to get me some good assists and steals. I like the look of him early on in the preseason. This is where we're in flyer territory now. The starting roster spots are all done. We've got 3 picks left. This is flyers. You're looking for upside here because these kind of picks, especially in a league like this, and here he goes, Tyrese Maxey. I know. If you've watched any of our other mocks, that Adam King's really keen on this guy, closer to pick 100. I think that's too high. This is where I'd be comfortable drafting Tyrese Maxey because, if there is a trade, we don't know what's coming back. Like, let's say they get a Malcolm Brogdon or they get a Tyrese Halliburton or whoever the hell they've been throwing out there in rumors. It does kill Tyrese Maxey's value a little bit. Tyrese Maxey is more to do with okay, we're hoping nothing comes back, or we're hoping that this Ben Simmons situation just goes for months. Fuck, there goes Scotty Barnes. I thought he was going to come back to me, but these guys are just too switched on. Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann's one of those guys I'm cooling on a little bit. He was a preseason hype guy a little bit. He's coming down the boards a little bit. Looks like Eric Bledsoe, who was our all-washed player of the year last year. He looks like he's going to be starting in Clipper Town over there. But that might change. That might not last very long. Eric Bledsoe did not look very good last year, so who knows how long they stick with that. Alrighty. How are we looking here? So I'm getting a few. I do think there are a few good guard sleeper options. Let's go a few through these other picks here. Matisse Thybulle. Where did he go? 123rd, that's fine. Elite blocks and steals. The points suck. Honestly, 4 points a game is what I'm expecting from Matisse Thybulle, and in decent minutes too. But those steals and blocks are elite, and definitely something that is a rare combination. But just be aware, even for a back-end guy, his points are going to be really, really rough. But if you punch in that category, which maybe this team is, with James Harden, couple of low-scoring players here, so maybe they've leaned into a punt points build. The Kemba Walker pick wouldn't make much sense in that scenario, though. Fuck, there goes Killian Hayes. Geez, all my guys are getting taken here. Thaddeus Young at 134 is an interesting one. Haven't seen him play for the Spurs, and I don't know if he will. In fact, I don't think he will at all. All right, let's have a look at some of these guys. Desmond Bain is falling here. I think at this point you've got to be looking at Desmond Bain. Now, I'm punting threes, so a lot of his value is not there for me. So I probably won't be selecting him. But if I'm another team, I'm looking at Desmond Bain at this point because I think that he is definitely someone that can give me some good value. Jesus, who else are we selecting at this point? Fucking hell. Danny Green. Jeez, that's as vanilla as it gets. I'm not about selecting players like Danny Green at this point. Ricky Rubio as well. Look, they're solid. And in a 14, 16-team league, yes, those are the kind of the players I'm drafting because they're probably going to be about this value, but there's just no upside. And that's what you want with this kind of a pick in a 12-team league. When you're outside of your starting roster spots, I think you just got to go for upside and do your best to find players that have a chance to increase value, because otherwise, if it don't work out, you're better off with a player like Danny. You're better off just streaming that point in a head-to-head league. That's my opinion anyway. Jeez, who is going here? All right, fuck, that came back to me quick. Will Barton, Andre Drummond, Dylan Brooks, Brooksy Brooks. Not a big fan, but he will get minutes. I think Roby is my selection here. Should be the starting center at OKC. Still a young player, might be looking better. Yeah. Isaiah Roby. Let's do it. Isaiah Roby. At 140, I think that's fine. Starting centers. Hard to find. My bigs are looking really good. I think for my last selection, I wanted just a flyer guard type. I know I've got Sengun in my queue here. Maybe I do go him. He's not starting to start the season, and in a draft like this, it looks like I'm going to have to scrap for every win. So, in a competitive draft, if you're really not sure where you stand, which in this draft I don't really know where I stand. I don't think that I'm at the top by any means. I think I'm competitive in most categories that I'm trying to be competitive in, but it's very middle of the pack. I might be splitting turnovers and assists every second week, so that's okay. I haven't even concentrated on turnovers yet. I'm pretty decent in them, just by not getting many point guards early on in the draft. Very good draft today, guys. I've been impressed. Bobby Portis goes at 144. There's no real pick. There goes Alperen Sengun. Well done, Nuggy Wuggies. I think that's a good selection. Your last pick. You're looking for upside, and there's not much better upside than Sengun at this point. Now, who the hell do I want to draft? Fuck me. Desmond Bain is still on the board. He is screaming out to me. I don't care about threes, but Jesus. He is looking really good. So Desmond Bain made it to me. Do I go a Lou Dort? A Malachi Flynn? Cole Anthony? Maybe a Cole Anthony is the go. Actually, I've done this nearly every draft. Let's just do this and hope that Cole Anthony makes it to the wire afterwards. Yep, let's do that. Markel Fultz, 149. He's injured, yes. It's my last pick. I'm not missing out. There's not much on the wire. Chuck him on the IR spot. I've got no other injury. My team's actually apart from Jimmy Butler and Kevin Durant, my first two picks, I've gone fairly safe with injuries afterwards. So I am pretty happy about that. Look, this is not my favorite team that I've ever drafted, but it's been a tough draft. I think I'm going to come out really strong in rebounds. Blocks, field goal percentage. The threes, I'm dead last. The free throw percentage, geez, that could have been better. The free throw percentage could have been a lot better. The points, I'm in the pack. There's a bit of a distinction between myself and the bottom three teams, so at least based on Yahoo's projections, but fuck me, what a draft. Should be up top in rebounds, should be up the top in steals and blocks. Very good defensive stats, and turnovers are pretty good. So field goal percentage, steals, blocks, rebounds, turnovers and assists, I'm going to be flip-flopping. Points, I'm going to be thereabouts in. Threes and free throw percentage are pretty poor. So I actually, look, I don't love the team, but I don't necessarily hate it. I think Carlos, I'm sorry for stealing a few of your picks here, Carlos. What was your team? The Nuggy Wuggies. Well, you returned it to me on the Sengun pick, but yeah, these my last few picks were all the hype guys: Melton, Maxey, Roby, and then Fultz as well. So, and I think that's what you got to do. You got to go for those hype guys, and hopefully one or two of them pulls off. And I think my confidence is rising in a lot of them. Maxey, I guess I just want to pause the brakes on him a little bit. Alexei Pokusevski goes at 154. Just let everyone know that this was a tough draft. Oh man, we've got the last couple of picks here, and then we'll go through the team and a couple of housekeeping things to finish up. Malik Beasley at 155. That's fine there. And who is up to the next one? Daniel Tice. Yep, starting power forward. That's fine. So let's run through the draft here. Look, very competitive draft, all things considered. I think these guys were very switched on. So I think this was a very tough draft for everyone involved. To highlight a few picks, let's go through my team, actually. Let's do that. If I bring my team up here. So, actually, let's just run through it on this screen. Started with Kevin Durant. Now, like I said, normally wouldn't start with Kevin Durant in that position, so maybe that put myself in a bit of a different position. If I was picking maybe from here, a few of those other guys that I liked a bit better might have been available, but this is a good exercise. So Kevin Durant starting, very hard to pick a clear punt strategy. So for me, I'm waiting and to see who makes it back to me. In my rankings, I've got Jimmy Butler as the best player available, and I do actually think he fits kind of well with Kevin Durant in like a punts three strategy, because Kevin Durant, yeah, he shoots maybe 2.5 threes a game, but he's not someone like a Towns, Harden, Steph Curry, even a Lillard, Luka, all hit more threes per game. Tatum hits more threes. I need to double check it, but I think Paul George might hit more threes. So compared to some of those other guys, threes are not like where Kevin Durant's value is. So I'm fine in punting that category with a Jimmy Butler inclusion. I followed up with Darren Fox. Now, this was an interesting one because I didn't love everyone on the board. There was a few guys that went before him that I did think were going to be available, potentially Michael Porter Jr. or DeAndre Ayton would have been a good one for a center with no threes there. So I've gone Darren Fox to lean into my punt threes build, get those assists, get those points really strong at the end. Then the big man run, I wanted to get ahead of that. So Nurkic, Miles Turner. I would have loved Rashawn Holmes to come back to me. I would have loved Draymond Green to get to me. I think at that spot, Draymond Green is excellent value. Yes, the points, it's a bit of a struggle, but massive assists, steals, blocks, rebounds. And of course, I don't worry about the threes. So that would have been awesome, but didn't happen. So I've gotten in and gotten the blocks here. DeMar DeRozan, I don't necessarily love him, but I can't remember, in the sixth round, I think it was pick 68 or something like that. That's about where I want him to go. I'm very happy taking DeMar DeRozan there. He fits my build with the punt threes. I tried at that point to get the free throw percentage up, so maybe during the season I might lean into trading a DeMar DeRozan for a bit of value and just completely ignore that category later on. Who knows? But at pick 68, I don't think I've lost out on any value there. Maybe if I had my time over again, I might have gotten a guard there, but maybe a Cade Cunningham might have been a good selection there. Colin Sexton, potentially, but again, a lot of their values is in the threes. So, DeMar DeRozan might get more assists than those guys anyway. So, not too mad about that. Jarrett Allen, I've grabbed there just to shore up my center position, was considering him and PJ Washington. I was hoping Jalen Suggs got back to me, not to be, so I didn't love any of the guards left on the board at that point. Maybe it's probably too early for Josh Giddey. I think I was hoping Josh Giddey made it back to me in the 9th round. I mean, his value is pushing up a little bit. Overall in rank, I don't think he's going to be this high, but the assists are very valuable. So, interesting selection there in the 9th round with Josh Giddey. He's sort of the last big assist guy really in the draft. Reggie Jackson maybe a little bit, but they're going to share the ball a lot in Clippers. So RJ Barrett, just took him. I think really solid value, good points late in the draft. Maybe he can give me some assists and solid rebounds from the guard position. And then I've just gone flyers with Roby, Maxey, Melton, all there, and then Marco Fultz, my IR spot. Let me check. Yes, so Cole Anthony didn't make it there, so he would be a nice player that I would just plug Marco Fultz to the IR spot, pick up a Cole Anthony, and then as soon as Marco Fultz is back, bang, Cole Anthony goes to the bench. Drop him to the waiver wire, and I haven't sort of skipped a beat there. So to get my last sort of assist there, just to scrape into that kind of competitiveness in that category, maybe I can stream a little bit off the waiver wire, depending on my matchup. If I want to chase some more turnovers, look after my turnovers a little bit, I can drop players here and there, depending on how we go. But that will do it for today, guys. What do you think about the draft? Personally, I think this is a very competitive draft. So if you want a good blueprint on where players' values are, I think this is actually a really, really good draft to have a look at and maybe rewatch, see where players went. I've got the board here if you guys want to pause the video and just check out where players went. I think this is a really good template to sort of go off with only a few nitpicks here and there. But again, last little reminder, Q&A podcast coming up soon. So drop your questions in the comment section below, and we'll get to as many as we can on the next podcast. We're going to be doing a roundup review of the preseason when we record, and also talking a bit of normal NBA, giving our predictions on playoffs, giving our predictions on awards, most improved, MVP, defensive player of the year, all the good stuff, and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you give the video a thumbs up. If you are subscribed, hit the notification bell so when our new videos drop, you'll get a notification. We're going into the season with some more videos. And good luck with your fantasy drafts coming up. Laters, guys. See ya.